Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack 183, titled Rumors Are Swirling. I'm actually very excited to at least talk about some of this stuff tonight. So I'm very much looking forward to the show. Chat, please let us know how we sound, if everything is broken and on fire, as has been the case. And yeah, so let's get into it. But before we do, let's thank those that help support us over at patreon.com/PSVG. So going in reverse order, thank you, Zach Adams, Horse Girl 69, RJ Kern, Josh Borboni, Devin Tyus, Grouchy Surge, Kyle Hyman, Paul Calico, Nick Fallhalber, Rob Emanuel, Ben Moxham, Rude Days 93, Nick Creature, Stephen Keller, Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, and Michael Masick. The gang's all here. Got Miss Rebecca. Got
Hello.
Sir Mr. Bland Explosion. What's up?
Hello. How's it going? I'm doing good. It was just really entertaining that you've just made your drink right in the beginning.
Yeah. Last night I was in a mood on Empire. Like, I'm still kind of in that mood, which is why in the what you up to next to my name, there isn't absolutely not a damn thing.
Oh, that kind of mood.
I haven't turned on my Switch.
Oh, that's okay.
I haven't wanted to. Like,
that's okay too.
Yeah,
I get like that sometimes.
I'm having a hard time with games lately, guys.
You don't have to like be focused on the games all the time though. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I think and that's kind of the interesting thing that I'm kind of in now is I'm feeling that way. Like, I don't want to play it, but unlike times in the past, because of the podcast, like, I'm also not forcing it.
Right.
Beforehand, I used to just like, you got to play something, Donnie.
He's got to get a game in.
Yeah, and I'm not touched a damn thing. I don't want to. I actively don't want to play video games right now. You know, and I don't really know why. I have other interests. I just don't want to. Like, the other day, I sat down and this was maybe like early last week. I sat down to play a game, and I feel like I almost fell asleep. Like,
no, I do that a lot.
You know, I was just sitting there, and I was just like, man, I'm tired. I don't know. I'm just in the mood.
Normally,
and
I
then
sit
one
down,
of those seasons.
10 p.m. at night. I look at a video game like I'm about to pass out, falling asleep. No, I get that sometimes.
I do love that we get the love for the Mario Golf poster in the background. I'm hoping that is the jolt of energy that I need. I just gotta.
Sometimes it takes a game.
It feels so far away. Mm-hmm. You know, it feels so far away.
It's only a month.
I know. I gotta get to Mario Golf. So easy enough for me to get out of the way for you guys. So Rebecca, why don't you tell me what you're playing?
So I've been doing kind of a weird mix of things. I finally bought that game from the Indie Direct, There Is No Game.
Right.
And I've played, it's a lot longer than I thought. I thought it would be something that I would be able to beat in like 2 hours, 3 hours or something. But I think I'm like at least 4 or more into it across 2 streams. And it seems like there's still, like, I'm only in chapter 3. I don't know how many chapters there are. But it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of good content. It's $15. It's funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's like one of those games that's very self-aware with the dialogue and the narrator talking to you, very fourth wall breaking. It makes fun of a lot of like real life tropes in games and things like that. Like the chapter that I'm on right now, you're playing, it's very mocking Zelda. You're playing, you're trying to help the hero save the princess, but you're skipping all the dungeons. You're just getting right to the chase, and you're helping him. And so eventually you do it, but then the antagonist of the whole game that you're playing steps in, and you have to do it again. He made some changes to it, but it is like a pay-to-win clicker game where you have to like click to get like the in-game currency, and then you can choose to buy the more currency. it's like kind of going on a little bit too long. Like I think the joke gets stretched out too much, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. The beginning part is kind of figuring out like what you're supposed to do with like clicking around the screens, looking for keys, kind of paying attention, like real close attention to the language that they're using to try to figure out what to do next. It hints at you to do certain things, but I'm really enjoying it. It's hilarious. Really recommend it if you're looking for something pretty different.
How many mini games have you played in that thing?
Well,
now?
like it's hard to say because I thought they were mini games, like from the trailer. That's kind of what I got from it, but it's not really like that. Like it's in chapters, and in each chapter you're doing something different, but you're kind of progressing the whole story. Like now I'm starting to uncover the narrator, who you never see him, you only hear his voice. He has like this whole past and like backstory and whatnot, and so I'm like starting to get that out of him a little bit. So it's like I wouldn't call them mini games, but like each chapter you're kind of doing something different. Or like there's like, it's kind of playing on like a different trope type of thing in a game. Really recommend it if you're looking
That's kind of cool.
An indie, and it's longer than I thought. I don't know how much is ahead of me. I have been playing it on stream, and my viewers have been helping me a lot because some of them are kind of tough to figure out what to do. Maybe I just don't have the brain for it, but yeah, definitely. If like, I feel like I would have fun playing this like locally with a group of people trying to figure out what to do as well. It's that kind of thing. So I have been playing that. I don't know when I'll finish it because it's longer than I thought. But I also I started something new that I've been wanting to play for a long time, and I returned to a game that I started months ago, which is Resident Evil 4, which I think I'm getting into. Everybody's talking about Resident Evil Village. I'm seeing it, and I'm like, I want to go back and finish Resident Evil 4. So I jumped back into that, and I'm still enjoying that. I'm playing that on stream as well. People are saying the Wii version of the game is like the definitive version of it. I'm playing it on Switch, I guess, because of the
I wouldn't call it the definitive version.
That's
is
what
my
people were telling me.
It's my favorite version.
Okay.
I mean, the reason I say that is I actually think there is a version of Resident Evil 4 that's called the definitive edition.
Okay.
I think like isn't that what it's called on Steam? Like, didn't they release an HD pack?
Something like that.
It's like Ultimate HD Edition or something.
I played it first on Wii. I've played it on other consoles, and the Wii is still my favorite way to play that game. It almost like, and I know they tweaked it a little, and it doesn't look great, but the light gun type of mechanic with the pointer controls, kind of like Metroid Prime, really made playing that game, I feel, so much more. I mean, definitely more fun, but that's not really the word.
Like more interactive, I guess.
Yeah, more interactive, more and less frustrating. Like when that game came out the first time, like all of the villagers have like this weird, and this has been like a thing that they've done, I think, almost ever since then, is now when you like try to aim headshots and stuff, they all do like these weird, very unrealistic gallops, where they're like there and then they're like all over here, all over here. And, like with the Wii, and I imagine it's the same for like VR, right? I know they're bringing it to VR.
Oh, really?
With the Wii, I imagine that it feels more natural to play. It's probably it's probably more intuitive and more normal, natural.
I feel like maybe I would enjoy that, but I can't help but wish that the Switch had the motion controls, like in the controller. I'm surprised that they didn't add that to the Switch version, when so many games now have that.
It's a huge bummer for the Switch.
Yeah, I think that would have.
Not a lot of developers are taking advantage of that. The Joy-Con motion control.
I feel like every shooter on Switch has gyro.
Well, gyro, yes, but actual Joy-Con motion control or whatever.
Like Resident Evil 4 didn't have gyro.
I was just thinking the control,
just the gyro.
gyro
aiming. Like this.
So
got it.
So Resident Evil 4 on Switch plays like Resident Evil 2. Like it's a tank control game. It's you run around, hold the button to aim, stagger and yourself shoot, or like run backwards, stop, do it again. It's to be quite honest, I remember when this released, and I feel like I said it on our podcast, I couldn't recommend anybody play this game on Switch. Like I do feel like you're almost actively playing like the worst version of it. And I hear like it looks really good. So I think it is it's a port of the PC version.
Is it?
It just doesn't have any of like those intuitive controls that made me like the game so much the first time.
I'm okay with it. Like I can't help but wish it was better, but it's not like ruining it for me or anything. I think the everything about like the dialogue and the story is like I don't know if it's supposed to be cheesy, but it's
Of
so
course.
cheesy.
It's very cheesy.
But I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm not like into that type of game for the most part, but I think besides that, I'm enjoying my experience with it. So I want to finish that.
I've
It's
always
longer than I
enjoyed
thought it
Resident
would be.
Evil's campiness and like their
Mhm.
ability to cheese, but it's almost like it's like a Japanese anime fan's weird idea of what like an American horror franchise is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
There's
like,
that
it
like
very much is
weird
that.
Off
kid.
interpretation.
He's like a man, but he's like a baby, but he's like a captain. Like it's
Yeah.
so oh my gosh, it's too much sometimes. But I'm enjoying it. Ashley is very annoying. I could do without
Actually, is
her.
always annoying.
I think it's the longest Resident Evil game. Everybody talks about how short Resident Evil games are, but I feel like this is just like I'm like still halfway through it. So
That's
I'll
funny
keep plugging
because
away
when I
at
was a
that.
kid, when I
Mhm.
first started playing those, I feel like I played Resident Evil like all summer long. Like
Yeah.
it took me like 2 months to beat Resident Evil 3, and I guess it just shows
You're
like just
also a
how
kid. It probably took you longer to
terrible
figure
I
out
was
too.
at it, and
Yeah.
you know, like, and they're
It took a
so
while.
they're so like mazy, and you, like if you don't know
That's
what
true.
to do, you know, like you can spend your time just running around shooting stuff for a long time. But yeah, I mean now like you can beat them all in like 8-10 hours. Like they're not
Yeah.
super long, which is a good
Yeah.
thing. It's a good thing.
That's a great thing.
We need to
We-
applaud that more often. It's a
We
good
need
thing.
those games.
Yeah, we do.
I prefer them. The last thing that I have been playing is I started Earthbound Beginnings, which I played Earthbound for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it. And so finally, I'm going back to Earthbound Beginnings because they are not going to put it on Switch Online at this rate. So I bought it on the Wii U for $7 whole. So
Cool.
because I did that, they're probably going to add it now. It is. I'm convinced
I will
that
give you the $7 back.
I'm convinced that Earthbound is really just a remake of Earthbound Beginnings. They're so similar. They're very, very similar. You can definitely see that Mother 2 is just like a better version of the first game. It's a lot of the same music, a lot of the same enemies. The plot line is very similar. The characters all have a lot of similarities too. Even the map is kind of laid out the same way. It's just that Earthbound is a little bit prettier, a little bit more polished. You can tell because of the Super Nintendo, they can just do so much more with it.
A lot more prettier.
Yeah. So it's definitely a lot more basic. It doesn't have that same polish. You know, it's more simplistic. But it's cool to see the roots of that game that I like so much. So I'm gonna play it.
Very cool. Garrett?
That's it.
I haven't been playing much games either because I had full of weekend plans.
I'm spreading. I'm
You're
infecting the rest of the team.
Pretty much. I got engaged Friday afternoon.
Yay.
So yeah, and we had a whole full of weekend plans. So I didn't have much time to play.
You gotta do the dinners,
games.
you gotta do the announcements, you gotta do the parties, you gotta take the selfies, you gotta do it for the gram, you gotta get the TikTok.
So many pictures.
Did you
It was
orchestrate
insane.
anything?
It wasn't really
Was
orchestrated.
there like matching outfits at any point?
Yes, yes,
Ah.
kind of. Anyways, yes. There were some
Congratulations.
plans. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I only played just a couple of things. First off, I wanted to play this demo, so I played it last night. It's called World's End Club demo, or World's End Club. It's a game that's actually coming out on Switch exclusively later this month, and is actually in it was in a direct as well. It's about these group of like, I think they're just teens, maybe like late middle school, early high school, something like that. And they just get into a bunch of like trouble with this one fictional character. They have to go through various trials or whatever in order to like survive together in these kind of challenges or whatever. Most notably, it's the writer of this game, Kotaro Uchikoshi. He's also the writer for the Zero Escape games and also AI Insomnium
So I like
Files.
the Zero Escape games. Those are good.
People love the Zero Escape games,
Yeah.
and I would like to get into them sometime. So I was expecting high things in terms of the writing. which it was okay. So what the demo took you through is kind of like the first challenge with your friends together. And basically this made up fictional character was just messing with you. It's like, okay, we're going to imprison you in this maze. Each of them have a wristband, and each wristband has a task for a different person to win the game. And so you're trying to figure out what the other task is, or your task is, in order to win this challenge. Now, that's the game, but you're not really playing that game. What you're playing is the story, and the story of like going through character interactions and the writing together. So you're not actually playing the game that they set for you. It'll just be the end result, the same result, whatever it is. It's just the story there. So it felt kind of bland. It kind of felt boring in this first challenge. The only gameplay you have in here is like a Limbo 2D slow side scrolling type of thing. Of course, there's some writing here and there, some cool interactions, but it didn't really interest me at all because I felt like I was not playing a game. I was just playing some narrator simulator that's going through a game. So compared to the Zero Escape games or the Insomnium Files, which is an actual detective trying to figure out what you need to do type of game, this one just felt like, hey, go from this trigger to the next trigger and so on and so forth. I don't know how the rest of the game is. They just show you the first chapter or whatever. But to me, I'm definitely not going to get this game day one. It is $50. And I know some people on Twitter, they're very impressed by this game. I just didn't feel it because it didn't feel like an actual game to me. It just felt like a story and just going through it. It's like, I didn't expect that. So we'll see how reviews go with that one. I don't expect it to be crazy high in reviews, maybe like 6s and 7s or something like that. Other than that, I'm still playing Chrono Trigger, of course. I know that we cut off on our recording last week, but I've been playing Chrono Trigger for a couple weeks now on my Retroid Pocket 2. It's been great. I only played a little bit more this week. I'm the second time in the 600 AD place, so 400 years before your timeline. And I'm trying to figure out what to do. It actually, so I got to the kind of the end of time or whatever, the time place where you can go to the various portals.
Yes.
Right there, I did not know what to do. Actually, I was like, wait, where do I get? There's like 3 or 4 places you can go after that.
It kind of opens up a little bit more.
Right. So the dude, the little furball, taught me magic. That was cool.
No.
Yeah. He's like what, the person of war, a god of war or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So
It's like, that's cute. And so I don't know. I went to the super way before 65 million BC place. I did not know what to do there. I just killed some monsters. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. So I went back. I went to the book that actually took you to the end of the game. It's like, nope, let's not go there right now. So I went back, and then I finally, I cracked, and I actually opened up a guy. It's like, all right, where do I need to go next? Because it's not telling me where to go. And so I kind of figured out my way a little bit. So
I'm pretty sure if you talk to the man at the end of time, he kind of hints at where you're supposed to go next. Like he'll say there might be a problem in 600 AD that you should check out, or like at least that kind of tells you what time period to go to, or something like that.
I tried to talk to him, but I forgot. Yeah, I forgot what his response was, but it was just like nothing, and I was like, okay, I'll just do whatever then. But I kind of figure it out now. I'm on the 600 AD. I went across the bridge, and so I figured that part out.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm still really enjoying it. It was just a little directionless right after the apocalypse level.
I don't think there's too many parts that you'll get stuck at it. It pretty much, it's fairly linear. It kind of nudges you where to go at most parts. What do you think of the characters?
Characters are great. I'm loving them so far. I like how each of them have their own little reactions with Chrono. Just like their attitudes and their responses, always trying to help him or just help the party in general. I don't have the robot with me at all times. It's always Luca and Marley right now. Marley is so cool. I really like her character a lot. She's just this tomboy, independent, like I'm gonna kick some butt against these. I just really like that.
She's cool.
The music is spectacular. I wish I had better speakers on this Retroid Pocket. I always have to put on headphones. I'm like, this music is so good. It's like a Studio Ghibli movie. Like, no joke. It's just very, very good at what it does.
Speaking of the character interactions, like you'll get slightly different dialogue, and I think you probably have already, but especially later on, depending on who you have in your party for certain like plot points in the game, it could play out like slightly differently. So definitely like your favorite characters, you'll see kind of what they say for each thing.
Yeah, I think I caught on to that once I beat certain bosses, that they have a response to it, and I thought that was pretty neat. I still have some technical glitches with my Retro Pocket, not with the game itself. There was at one point on Sunday, it just turned off on me. And I'm like, what just happened?
Oh my gosh. Did you lose progress?
Very little. It was just like maybe like a minute or so. Luckily, I run a hack ROM of it, so I could just save state whenever. So I'm kind of doing that.
Does it auto save every 2 minutes?
No, it doesn't auto save every 2 minutes, unfortunately. But yeah, it was super weird. I think it's just because of the battery doesn't update, like the battery percentage doesn't update on my screen, and it kind of just like did me a little bit. So I got to be very careful with that. Yeah. For sure. But yeah, other than that, I really would like to go back to other games. I really need to go back to Monster Hunter. I really need to go back to Bravely Default. So I would like to wrap up Chrono Trigger pretty soon and just go back to those other RPGs. That's why I'm not buying anything until probably Mario Golf, because that's probably the next game I need to.
You have a little ways to go. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not like. I wouldn't say you're near the end.
No, I'm not near the end. I saw like a lot of chapters after, and it's like, okay, I got a little bit left.
The pace does, I think, speed up a little bit, especially because there's a lot of like optional stuff to do at the end. So if like you choose not to do it, like it could be shorter. I recommend doing it, but like if you're crunched for time, you don't. It's like it doesn't make a difference if you don't.
I'm still like doing it as organic as I can. I just needed to crack open a guide I was like, okay, I gotta go to the next thing because I'm not like figuring out where I need to go.
I had to do that for some bosses, not like really where to go next in the game, but like how to fight some of the later bosses. Some of them are tough.
I'm figuring out it's getting a little bit more complicated in the combat, and I like that. It's not just
straightforward. Like some of the bosses are really like you have to do it a certain way.
Yeah, and I see a lot of RPGs now kind of borrowing those elements. I instantly feel Persona in like because the Persona always have different like parts of the monster or the bosses that you have to defeat, and it's the same thing in Chrono Trigger. Sometimes there's just multiple different parts, and there's a certain order you need to do in order to defeat the boss. So it's like, this is cool. I'm really glad I'm playing it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
How's your guys' fantasy league going?
Pretty good. I have Ratchet and Clank coming up next.
Garrett's in first. I think I'm in second.
Oh wow, you guys own and shop over here.
Pretty much. I'm only like ahead because I have one more. I have like 4 games scored, but my next is Ratchet and Clank. I think Justin has Shin Megami Tensei 3, and then I think is that Seth? I think Seth has Mass Effect.
I'm very excited to play
we're doing
Ratchet
pretty
and Clank.
Good.
That's like the next one that I'm very excited to play Ratchet and Clank.
Me too.
I have 4 open spots. I'm waiting for nice E3 titles to fill those in.
Oh, let's see if we can fill those for you. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
There you
That's
go.
what's got me really excited. Like, nothing against, well, you know what, I'm not even going to say that. A lot of things against Garage Maker or Video Game Garage or whatever it is. Like, it just didn't do much for me.
You sure?
There's not a whole lot happening. We're missing indie games. Like, we're just kind of waiting. Like, it's just the calm before the storm. And this happens every year that there is an E3. Like, companies, as you would, begin to hold back. But as companies begin to hold back those announcements, guess what? People that know about those announcements begin to start saying what they know. So potential for spoilers for E3 if you're the type of person that's like, I don't want to know anything. We're going to get into a lot of it because this little drop here, the little news that's been floating around the last 48 hours, I personally find very exciting. This is very exciting stuff. So let's get into it. This is not a rumor, but publisher 505 Games in their investors earning financial recap or whatever made mention and unveiled that they will be publishing the new game from Mercury Steam, which led a lot of people to go, well, there goes that Metroid rumor of yours.
Just gone.
Not so fast.
Oh, okay.
Zippo, notable Nintendo leaker Zippo, apparently. Now, here's the thing about this one. Does anybody confirm that this is his blog?
I don't know.
I think it is legit.
All of the news folks ran with it, so I take that
Okay.
as confirmation. But the first thing I thought of when I opened up, I was like, I could have done it. Like anybody could.
That's a blog spot. It's literally a blog spot.
But that aside, everybody ran with it, so I'm assuming that it's real. Zippo puts up a blogspot post where he details what he thinks he knows. And for those of you that follow Nintendo Shack, you've heard his name before. I do think that account and the person is a credible leaker. They've done multiple directs, smashes at times, other games. So I take anything that they say with some, hint of credibility. But here's the thing about leakers. Nobody bats 100. Like sometimes you get fed misinformation. Sometimes things change. Like games get canceled, they move on. So, as with everything, take it with a grain of salt. This doesn't mean that this is happening. But he starts off with Metroid. He doubles down that Mercury Steam's Metroid game not only exists, it's done. And he puts, I put this in quote, 200% I'm sure that this is happening. It's finished.
Wow.
He says it's finished and it's just been waiting on Nintendo to reveal it. It's been done apparently, which doesn't shock me at all.
No, it doesn't shock me either.
Say that before we really dive into this, nothing really here surprises me all that much.
No.
I kind of miss, I wish that there was, back when we had the leaks that were the Mario Rabbids type, where we're like, what? That's unusual.
That one was
is that
weird, yeah.
real?
That was
or
a surprise.
Even the Star Fox Grand Prix thing, where
I
that
really
didn't
wanted
end
that
up
to be
happening.
true.
But that was wow, that's
God.
not something that somebody could have predicted. And I'm not questioning the validity of this leak, but there's nothing here that I think smart people can't deduce on their own.
The report out on the Grand Prix was that Nintendo made that up to try and figure out who's leaking it.
Regardless.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Brilliant. Effing
It is, yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
What an idea to just come up with as a troll, as a spoof.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna make a Star Fox
Yeah.
racing game. I was so excited for that rumor. That rumor sounded awesome.
I just think everything here is very safe. It's
Yes.
not oh my god, what the heck? They're really doing that kind of thing.
Definitely.
But let's continue.
I agree with you. Yeah, nothing here is blowing my mind. And to be honest with you, everything that we're about to cover, so was that at the first of the year we all kind of sat around and we were thinking what could potentially be on the roadmap? I think we mentioned every
we hit
one
all
of
of
these.
these.
Did.
Yeah.
All of these.
Yeah, so this is not new, but the leaker's credibility, his track record gives some credence to them.
Absolutely.
So the Metroid thing doesn't bother or it doesn't surprise me at all because Nintendo, with Pikmin, they've been known to sit on games that have been finished for a long time until they either think they need to release it, can release it, or want to release it in conjunction with another announcement or a specific event. So they could just be holding this until time. But this is very exciting because, we've talked about this for many episodes now. I want a 2D Metroid game.
Definitely.
That's what I want. I want a 2D Metroid game before Metroid Prime.
When do you think it will be released? I think it will be soon.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's
very soon.
I'm almost wanting to say it's this fall, and I have a reason for that, but I'll come back to it. It may not be this fall, but I want to say that it is.
I think that makes sense, a nice September release date.
Yeah, same. Both of these, we're about to get into the next one, but when I've painted my roadmap, I think I've often told you guys there's a game we don't know about this fall, and the reason is, as we've talked about, it's very port heavy. there's lots of ports. So we're expecting ports.
Yeah.
Expecting ports of Zelda games, getting ports of Pokemon games. Like, you need something new in there, and it's not Breath of the Wild 2. People have got to let that go. Like, that game isn't it. So there's got to be something in there, and yeah, a Metroid game sounds right. It really does.
I did pick that in my fantasy league. There was a 2D Metroid rumored last week for $1. I bet it for $1. So
Nice.
You might luck out with that.
I might
Very
really
good.
luck out with that one.
And that would probably, I mean, I feel like most 2D Metroids review quite well too. So
Yeah.
be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Moving forward, Kong. Zippo says, 40th anniversary, there is a new 2D Donkey Kong being developed by EPD Tokyo. Don't expect the country moniker to return. EPD Tokyo is not interested in making a sequel to games they didn't make. Diddy Cranky and the Kremlin crew should all be returning in this installment. It sounds like this game isn't launching before the end of the year. Every person that's told me about this game have told me that they think that it is a 2D game. There was lots of rumors when it wasn't from this report. This report kind of came out after another report that said that the Odyssey team was making a 3D Donkey Kong game, and the internet kind of lit up with it. We got YouTube videos and everything. And since then, there's lots of folks have come out and said, actually, we think it's a 2D game. Donkey Kong fan site DK Vine corroborated that report, and Nintendo Life. They all went and said the same thing, that they think it is a 2D game, not a 3D game. But that didn't stop Shy Guy from asking us, would you rather the Donkey Kong game be 2D or 3D or a mix of both, a la Super Lucky's Tale?
I think this also isn't really all that surprising. People seem to be like, what the heck about this? But I don't know why, because it's been 7 years since the last
It's been a
Donkey Kong
while.
game.
I think it's
Of
because it's
course
not
they're
retro.
making- This is a major franchise. Yeah, maybe because it's not like, still, like, it's one of their major franchises. Of course they're probably working on something like that.
Which is what we talk about every E3, right?
Mhm.
Every E3 is just an opportunity to run through Nintendo's IP catalog. Like, yes, there will be Donkey Kong games. Yes, there will be Star Fox games. Like, I assure you, they're not just not making them, except for F-Zero. Like, you have no hope. Just go die. Like, you're done.
I think
but
it
yeah,
is surprising that this game is going to be made by EPD Tokyo, though. We haven't
think,
really.
I think that's the reason that people are somewhat surprised.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of people like, who's doing Donkey Kong? Are they doing Donkey Kong? Like, do you even want to do Donkey Kong? Which is, was it a couple weeks ago I was talking about that? Like, I wanted like a new Donkey Kong. Like, you know, and that's what I was talking about, 3D. So to answer the question, I don't really care. What I was hoping for was a new Donkey Kong. I want a new Donkey Kong. The country thing is stale. Like
It is.
the new Super Mario Bros. 2D platforming games are.
Exactly.
It's in the same way. It's stale. That doesn't mean that a 2D Donkey Kong game can't be awesome. Like, you can make a great 2D Donkey Kong game, just make it new. Like, let's do something different. So I'm excited by this. I love Donkey Kong. I think it's a great way to celebrate the anniversary if this is how they're going to do it. I just hope it's really good. I mean, and there's no reason not to think. I mean, this is their internal development teams, and I always call them the Mario Magic people. I mean, these are the folks that usually make all these amazing games that people fall head over heels for. Like, so I expect that it will be very good. Something like Super Lucky's Tale sounds awesome, though.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see another 3D take. We only have one, and that's Donkey Kong 64, and that's a polarizing game.
So bad.
I see you
that.
Donnie over here.
I think they're really only willing to do a 3D one again to try it out. I think if they come up with some kind of novel idea for it.
Yeah.
I'm not really too sure if I see them putting out another 3D platformer type game like that when you have Mario already in that sphere. Like,
That's why I like the idea
what benefit
of
do they have to that?
like the Super Lucky's Tale. Like, you do 2D with a mix of 3D areas and platforms.
That'd be
You kinda
cool.
Mix it up. I like that idea a lot. I think that'd be
I
fun.
think it's safer for them to do the 2D, so I would be interested if they have some kind of new rich idea for a 3D game.
I think almost all the time, I always almost prefer 2D to the 3D counterparts, with the exception of Zelda. You know, like, as I say the same thing about Mario all the time. Like, I don't want that from a Donkey Kong game. Doesn't mean that you can't have exploration in areas, right? Like, you know, like a Super Lucky's Tale, or like a Crash Bandicoot or something, like where the camera kind of flips like a Ratchet and Clank, and you get to walk around for a minute, and then the camera flips back, and you go back the other way. But when I think Donkey Kong, I'm definitely not thinking like Mario Odyssey or Donkey Kong 64. Like, you know, I think, you know, like Super Nintendo Donkey Kong, arcade Donkey Kong, like stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I still would like to see something just different than Donkey Kong. If I see another 2D Donkey Kong
Konga,
game,
baby. Let's get those drums back.
please don't. I do love the Donkey Kong Country games. I love the 2D side of it. It's just give me another take. Give me another spin of Donkey Kong. Like the Mario plus Rabbids
It's a
Donkey
cool
Kong
gimmick.
DLC was fantastic because it's a spin off of a franchise I love. I just would like
Yeah.
to see something different with this.
Yeah. I agree. I'm excited. He says it could be up by the end of the year. So those are two games.
December is a good time for that game too. Actually,
You like that?
Early December.
Do they normally do that?
They did Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze in December as well. Mhm.
Okay. I'm on board. I mean, I'm always down for more Donkey Kong. I was all about Tropical Freeze on Wii U too. So yeah, let's do it. That was not the only game he included in his blog. Garrett, he said the magical words Fire
Yes, he
Emblem.
did.
He says, from what I've heard, Intelligent Systems has been working on a Fire Emblem title that they're developing separately from Three Houses on their own that is very close to nearing completion. While I haven't been told this part of this writing, the fans seem pretty sure that this is going to be a remake of the Super Famicom title Genealogy of the Holy War, which I've never played. So that's a brand new game to me.
Yeah.
This makes total sense to me, and it would serve as a nice in-between title like Koei Tecmo works on the follow-up to Three Houses. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Not at all.
Would be down. I wish it was the remake of Roy. I forgot exactly which one that is. The Firestone one, the GameCube and the Wii one. They're just Radiant Dawn's one of them. They're Ike and Roy. They're just trapped in those systems, and you cannot get them if you want to pay exorbitant amounts of money.
Elias Thompson in the chat asks, "Do we really need more Fire Emblem?" Elias,
absolutely.
The answer to that question is absolutely. If
yes.
you don't agree, there's the door. You can
just get out.
Walking out the door. I have no interest.
Nintendo Shack is a pro Fire Emblem podcast. It always has been. It always will be.
Fire Emblem for life.
Fire Emblem forever. And we will get Rebecca playing the next one.
At least the first level.
This isn't shocking at all. We've been saying this for a while, that there's got to be something. This is their cadence. This is how Fire Emblem goes. If you followed Fire Emblem, I think one of the things that's made Fire Emblem very successful in Nintendo's eyes, like, let's omit Three Houses right now, because with the Switch stuff, everything's like kind of crazy. So like, let's just say they're the outlier. For the last decade, Fire Emblem has been on a semi-annual, like every 18-month cadence. And I think what they realize is there is a Fire Emblem cash cow. There's a group of dedicated fans that will buy them at full price for new maps and new cutscenes over and over and over again. And those games are easy for 2-3 million copies sold at least. And then on Switch, you double it. You know, like on Switch, you probably get at least 5 or 6 million. So and this makes all the sense in the world. Just crank out another Fire Emblem game. So
super down.
I'm very excited. This one I didn't. It's not surprising, but I will say I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
nor
me
would
too.
you have ever heard me say it. He added to expect a Super Mario Party 2.
Okay.
A sequel's coming because it's blown up on sales. He mentioned that's why it got the updates that it did. And
I was gonna say, I think they adding online to the first one squeeze out a couple extra sales before they release a second one. It makes sense.
Yeah. It did sell so many damn much. Like you kind of.
I did not realize when I was reading is like
it's bonkers.
It sold more than like a lot of previous pre-Switch
It's almost
major
sold more
titles.
Than Breath of the Wild.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Those are very different video games.
One is not like the other. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we still play Super Mario Party every now and again. It's like, for us, Super Mario Party is like a board game. You know, if we're bored around the house and something like that, it's like, who wants to play Super Mario Party? Like Jackbox.
Yeah.
You know? I'll buy another one too. I'll buy another one. More 99 games are coming, and he said, DK40, anybody? He did mention that they'd be focused, that like this whole spin on their 99 thing is they want to keep focusing on their 8-bit arcade type titles.
That makes sense.
DK40 reminds me of like WD40. I don't know why.
That makes sense. Yeah.
WD40.
Donkey Kong 40 sounds awesome. I think that was one of the things that I was hoping for pitching earlier in the beginning of the year. But I wanted it to be like arcade Donkey Kong. You know, so I hope that's what he's thinking.
I think that's what it's gonna be if
That's
it's 8-bit.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be Donkey Kong Country or anything
Next we
like
need
that.
Tecmo Bowl 99 or whatever.
Ooh.
That'll get me
Ice
excited.
hockey or something.
No. Not Ice Climbers Night.
Ice Climbers, let's go.
Nobody needs that ever.
Kid Icarus.
And then this one for Rebecca, which is a great one to end on, claims that he's been told that Keisuke Yabuki's team has been working on the next Mario Kart title for the past 3 years. And he puts in, this is definitely not Mario Kart Tour. It's not Mario Kart Live or anything like that. Expect to hear something by the holiday or early next year.
Okay, here's the thing though. I feel like when a game gets announced, it didn't just start development. When a game was announced, it's been in development for years and years and years.
They hope so. Well, hang on.
I'm certain they've been working on a Mario Kart
with some
game.
exclusions. Like, there's plenty of games that get announced that haven't started development. Like, that has happened.
Sure. But you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
We will eventually get Mario Kart 9 or whatever it's going to be called. That's a fact. Of course, that's going to happen.
Yep.
They could very well be done with it and be sitting on it until the next console releases and just optimize it for that console. Like, I don't know. I think it's not.
Or Switch
really...
Pro.
Or Switch Pro.
I think Switch is getting another Mario Kart. I don't think it's this year. It might be next year.
Switch Pro. I think it would have to be the Switch Pro to do it.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 7 sold on the 3DS for 10 years.
If they do the Switch Pro with that Pokemon game, with Breath of the Wild 2, with Splatoon 3, and Mario Kart whatever.
And Metroid Prime 4 eventually, Bayonetta 3 eventually. Yeah.
So freaking amazing. That's incredible. Like, just roll it back. Let's all buy another one and let's keep the show.
Double the Switch sales.
Yeah, let's just keep it going. Keep it going. Yeah.
Yep.
I do think that I've been coming to that conclusion for a while now. I do think Switch will get its own cart.
I hope so.
Cart's just, it's one of those things where, and there's like, there's two sides to the coin. There's people, it's like, it doesn't need it selling so well, and I look at it and I look at that as evidence, like, that's exactly why it needs another one, because it's selling so, it's like Super Mario Party
audience now.
Yeah, it's like Super Mario Party 2. It's like, yeah, it's sold so well. What are you going to do? Yeah, you need to make another one so you can sell it again.
I would do it.
I wonder if they're thinking, I mean, obviously they have to do it well, right? If it's bad, it won't sell that well. But I think if they're looking at the numbers and they're like, this Wii U game sold 30 million copies, what can this new one do? Like, I wonder if they're like, we could hit 50. Like, we could do better.
I also think the longer they wait, the more, like, people will want the second one, because there's still millions of new people getting Mario Kart 8. So the longer they wait, the more of those people are going to get tired of the first one.
Adam says, I went to see all the Smash characters in Kart. Now, one of the things I was going to say is that's another reason why I think that they would do another Kart is there's so much room for improvement.
Yeah, there is.
You can do so much to that game since that game was originally made. You can do so much more online, so much more modes, so many more tracks, so many more people. Like, there's such a higher bar to raise that game to that I don't look at it like, I wouldn't look at it like, we can't sell that many copies of a new one because so many people bought it. It's like, you could do better. Like, there's a lot of room there. There's a lot of meat on that bone.
Yeah, now we got, When did that game release, Mario Kart 8? Like
2015? 14?
Yeah,
15,
it's been
like
so many years. And like now they can just open it up. I'm imagining tracks being way more innovative. Every time I play Mario Kart, it's fine. It's great. It's Mario Kart.
May 29th, 2014.
I just hope that there's a little bit more innovation on the tracks, I think. And a lot more different franchises.
Every new Mario Kart game has some kind of gimmick, some kind of innovation to make it be like, whoa, this is like the coolest thing ever. And who knows what that'll be. You can't ever guess it. But
what if they did Mario Kart Ultimate? What if that literally is the thing? I made a joke about that with Smash Brothers like a year before Smash happened.
I know.
And that was the thing. Like,
it literally did it.
I don't really care about characters all that much. The characters for me, it's not like I know that some of like the size differences play different, but to me, it's more about the tracks.
Me too.
All of the tracks and then new tracks.
That
what if it's
items,
every track?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would want new ones though too.
I just want really more innovative tracks, I think. I think it just feels samey now.
I want battle mode, and it's not just battle mode. I know I've said that a bunch. I would like battle mode and like a new mode. I want different online modes that aren't races.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Like a Mario Kart Battle Royale.
A Battle Royale battle mode in addition to like a classic battle mode. That sounds really, really fun. Or I don't know what else you could do. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and I'm only like I'm scrounging here. Like
I
know
wouldn't
there's, like-
really care about a story. I know a lot of people want a story mode.
no,
I don't care.
I don't
about
care
that.
much for that.
Don't care
No.
about that at all.
I see people ask for that.
I do want better power ups. I know we've said this a bunch. I like more
Mhm.
power ups, and I'd really like to see more balance. I
Me
always
too.
race with my own cart. Like I'm kind of with you with Becca. They can throw all the characters they want in there. I basically race with like 2 people.
Yeah.
Me too.
So it doesn't like that doesn't really I that's one game that I actually always kind of have a main. But I
Mhm.
would like to see my cart and setup be able to be tweaked or built or in a way that's more competitive with other carts. One of the things about Mario Kart that I don't like about it as much is I do feel like at the higher levels when you get really, really good, that there are certain cart customizations that are just kind of you just can't win with. I'd like to
Mhm.
see that leveled. I'd like to see that
Yeah.
be a little more parity there. A little
Kind
more
of
give
like
and take.
Splatoon weapon type thing.
Yeah, like in Splatoon, I can play with any weapon. They're all
Mhm.
good. Like I can play
Mhm.
with anything. I don't feel at a disadvantage. Whereas in Mario Kart, I definitely feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I play as Yoshi. So it's either you go Yoshi like high acceleration with a bike, but
Mhm.
even then, if somebody's with a heavy character and a bike, like you just can't keep up.
How would you feel about this? Just came into my mind, so I have no idea if this is a good idea or not. It just popped in. But how would you feel about like different vehicle types affecting the items that you get differently?
I like that
maybe
idea, too.
certain types of bikes, like
That would be
make
really
the
cool.
fireballs go further, but they're weaker, or
I've
maybe
always wanted
they're
characters
short
to
range
have.
and they're stronger.
I've always wanted characters have custom items.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Either custom items or their interactions with items are different per character. I think that
yeah.
would make me want to play as different characters more often.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the idea of I like Splatoon. I'm going to take your Splatoon idea. I like the idea of like giving you some ability to alter the setup of
Is
your
it
cart.
like the
it's-
traits of the cards or whatever
like
that
its
you want to?
abilities and its
Yeah.
settings and its features? Like, let me
Mhm.
kind of pick my own character and build around that, and not just be locked into a class.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the classes.
Yeah.
It's definitely feel like you're just mix and matching whatever you feel is best, but we really want something we can create our own and something
Mhm.
very customizable.
Yeah.
I think they can, really
Feels
pull
like
it
my
off.
racer. Like if I'm racing against somebody who's really, really good and it's a heavy character, I don't feel like I need to match them to
Yeah.
keep playing. Like, let me.
Yes.
What can I do to my Yoshi to make it competitive?
I like that idea better because I feel like for the most part in the cart games, like I'll unlock a cart and I'll be like, okay, well that's just ugly. Like I'm never gonna use it.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
it had some kind of like purpose for me too, I would.
And I played a lot of Splatoon because of it. I either wanted to get better gear
Mhm.
or I wanted to get the thing where I could alter my gear, or I did
Yeah.
my amiibo. Like I may have used my amiibo with Splatoon 3 more than any other game on Switch because I was constantly saving my loadout, kind of getting it the way that I wanted. And like once I had it set, like I was locked in. I would like to see more of stuff like that in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That'd be
Me
great.
too.
I hope it
Do you think it'll be
happens.
next year? Mario Kart?
It could be announced next year and then maybe out the following year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more likely.
I think Breath of the Wild. It's not to say that they can't. It's definitely not to say they can't. They can do whatever they want. Could they do it? They absolutely could. That's a hell of a way. Like if they're treating the Switch Pro as the Switch family of systems, but let's all be real, and it's like their new system,
Mhm.
then that's a hell of a way to launch it, and that's a surefire
That's
way
true.
to get it flying off shelves.
Yeah.
But I think Breath of the Wild is so big, and so it's going to be such a marquee title that I don't think you'll need it. Like, especially if that Pokemon game is in there, like you're good for
That's
next
true.
year. Next year, you're kind of good.
Because
And
they
then
have,
you
they have that big
slide-
Pokemon. They have Splatoon 3. They
Splatoon.
have a lot of big
Oh,
hitters.
here you have a lot of
next
games.
year.
So they're
Possibly
really,
next
really
year.
good. You just kind of slide card into that year after with like Bayonetta and Metroid Prime. And like now, Switch Pro looks amazing for 3 years. Like that roadmap
Mhm.
looks incredible, like so. And then that cart game gets a long life. You imagine it'll get ported to whatever next thing will happen because I don't think Switch Pro will last us 5 or 6 years. They'll
Yeah.
just port that to the next thing that they make us buy.
Mhm.
Switch
Sounds good.
2. Yeah.
Switch 2,
Switch
definitely.
2. It's very exciting. I really like these rumors. I hope they come to fruition. I'd be very excited to see all of this. This would be like a big jolt in the arm for me on my Switch. The only thing,
Mhm.
it's not that it bummed me out because I don't think these games are going to really take advantage of the Pro. But it makes me really want a Pro. It's like
That's
I
true.
want to play Donkey Kong like super good, and I want to play the Metroid game like super well. You know,
I feel like I want more of a sleek Switch 2 rather that like I mean all of the extra goodies and stuff that we've been talking about for months are great,
Yeah.
but I just want something a little bit sleeker, something that feels new because I feel like at this point the Switch is starting to feel a little bit clunky the way that I
Yeah.
feel like when I'm going back to the gamepad. I feel like
Yeah.
it's starting to get to that point for me.
yeah, no, I agree with you.
Totally.
What
I
about the
think
light?
a Switch Pro would do that for
Does
sure.
the light do anything for you?
No.
No. Okay.
Switch Lite is nice though.
I want
It
to
is
dock
nice.
it.
It's nice to
That's-
hold,
I mean,
but yeah,
I
you wanna
value
dock
the
it.
hybrid nature way too much.
I
to
agree.
use
Yeah.
light.
That's why I had the light and moved back because I agree with you. I want to be able to dock it.
There was something this week. It was like in a financial call or something that the Nintendo got the OLED screens on that Switch Pro, so it's gonna look pretty nice.
That was an investor. It was an investor's Q&A call with a panel display company.
Yeah.
They mentioned that Nintendo did get those OLEDs. So, I mean, the breadcrumbs are everywhere. Like,
It's only a matter of time.
Nintendo's doing a very terrible job of hiding this from anybody.
It's so funny that they're just not just saying a
I feel
word
like we
about
know
it.
way more about the Pro than we did the NX.
It's so true.
At this point,
So I hope they announce it soon. I really want it. I want it to be
Me too.
as soon as possible.
My rewards are ready.
I am too.
oh.
Like, I'm so ready now. Rounding out the news, E3 will have a dedicated online portal and app, which we knew about. Registration is free. The app will have exhibitor booths, lounges, and forums, leaderboards, and profile creation. I'm not going to use that app. Are you?
No,
I think I will. I think it's kind of a little bit like not exactly what you're talking about, like with demos and stuff, but I think this is kind of a modern way for E3 to get people, like viewers, to do interactive type things, like how we were talking about. I think this is the first step on doing that. It probably won't be all that great or interesting this year, but I think it would be interesting to see like how much they lean into it and how much that grows over the next few years. Even if they go back to doing the in-person E3s, I think this has a lot of potential. So I think with them experimenting with it this year, kind of seeing what sticks, what doesn't, what can be improved, I think this could look like the future of E3 for like obviously I'm not going to watch the presentations on through this app. I'm going to watch that kind of how I normally do, but I'm interested in seeing like kind of what they do with like the booths and stuff, and like I won't probably use the forums or anything, but like what can they lean into to make it feel like I'm getting something exclusive, or like that I'm being there in a virtual way type thing.
Yeah.
So I think
I like
Definitely
that
agree with you.
optimism. I hope
Yeah.
that I start to hear something like that. But when I read these bullet points, one, I'm already to the point, I think a lot of people are, it's like, I don't need another app. Like, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Got all the apps. Like, I don't need another app. And then when I look at this and I see leaderboards, and it's like, I don't need to climb a virtual E3 leaderboard.
No.
Lounges and forums, like, yeah, we have that. We already have that. Just like, just like the shows, the trade shows. It's like, yeah, we have tools for that. And we have adopted
I
tools
think they
for
just
that.
want to see what's going to stick, like what's going to work,
Exactly.
and what's kind of
Yeah.
like what they can use to grow on. Like it might not be perfect this year. I'm sure a lot of it they would scrap and never use again. But I like the fact that they're trying and they're thinking of ways to get people interacting and
Oh,
involved.
I agree with you.
There might
For
be
sure.
people who aren't like on Twitter or
Yep.
on any kind of thing that will use the forums and just want to talk to people about the events and stuff. And I think that's a way that they can do that. That's in that virtual setting that they're hoping for.
100%.
I will mainly use this just for the navigation of everything. If they have a schedule, if they have exhibitor booths or whatever, if it's pretty clean and nice to go through, I'll definitely check this out.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Donnie. Like with the lounges and forums and leaderboards, we have our community here. Like
Yeah.
we have Twitter,
It's
but
not
like
just us. We're very small.
yeah, we're very small.
Everybody that's covering your event has those things.
Yeah.
So it's like you're kind of making something that's very not needed, and it's a duplication of effort. But your point, Rebecca, is strong that there are people that just don't partake in that.
That's true.
fine. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
G-Man writes, with the talks about E3 having a mobile app, do you think this can be helpful to get more news in an app than having to search online? No, I
No.
don't.
No,
But I am the
mean-
type of person that devours the news as it's happening. So if you're one of those types that want it like curated
Yeah.
for you, maybe it does.
I feel like, yeah, if you're already like if you're listening to this podcast, this is probably not going to be the app for you. But that being said, I think that there are a lot of, like, E3 is pretty big. Like, it's way outside of our online gaming circle that, like, we see every day. And I think that if you're the kind of person that doesn't, really use social media or like go to IGN or anything like that, and like you just kind of want it all in one place, right, like you said, Donnie, as it's happening, sure, like get all the announcements kind of
My fear
as they're happening
would be, as I've gone to a few trade shows just like in my work, my fear is that this app sounds a lot like apps that I've had during those trade shows.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Here's your schedule, here's your reservation. My fear is that everything that they do, they think is news. So instead of having like a curated list of what you really care about, what you have is literally a gigantic list of everything that ever happened at E3.
All the lists.
And you think
everywhere.
that sounds great, but there are hundreds of announcements that we see like on the shows that we care about. There are thousands of announcements that don't bubble into even that, like that are just happening at E3 with indie devs, partnerships, and things like that. And like that could go backfire the opposite way as well.
I could also see this being kind of an app where, like, maybe, and obviously we're not the target for this, but there are more shows this year that they keep popping up. Like, this developers or this company is going to be in it. This company, like, maybe it sends you a reminder. Or the app sends you a reminder when the show is about to start in like 30 minutes or something like that, and that could be a way to follow that.
That'd be good.
Be sure to tune in. I think it could have that kind of potential too, and like just kind of have like the schedule, or maybe you set certain.
They would be. I mean, it's going to be E3 licensed events only. Right, they're not going to like promote anything that's happening outside of E3.
Right,
that kind of defeats the whole purpose. So like if EA and I know that they're not doing it then, but like if somebody is hosting an event around that time that is E3 but not ESA E3, it's not going to be included. That might be another weird thing about that. Like
it's just exclusive to E3.
Like Devolver might not be there, Sony might not be there, but they might be having events that are just not on the app.
They wouldn't do that in the app. No.
Yeah.
We just have our core group of apps and like outlets, and I don't know, YouTube is endless as well. I just feel like a lot of things are going to focus on the show and focus on all the things that is happening around the summer. So I don't know who this serves to. Yeah, it can serve some people outside of our sphere, but the people that do that would just go to something like IGN.
I do think the people that are in our sphere though, like that's like target consumer number one for you. Like that's the people that are actually wanting to know E3. I feel like the other people would probably just wait to the end of the week and be like, the 10
what's
best
the round of
things
news
that happen at E3. Like Rebecca, you're gonna pen one of those articles, right? Like here's what you missed from Nintendo this week. Like they just have people for that. Like they don't need. Zach says, "Too bad they didn't consult you, Donnie. Again, your idea sounded great. I appreciate that. That's not my idea. I was just kind of running with. That was actually their idea. They wanted to have the demos. They wanted to have it paid.
That would have been great.
Ticket. They wanted a paid digital ticket to have exclusive shows. I was just showing them support when they announced that idea, because that idea got floated and the gaming industry told them it was terrible.
No.
Like they just rioted against that idea.
I feel like this could, like I said, this year they might just be testing the waters with it, but I could totally see this app turning into that thing like exhibitor booths. Like, okay, all of this is free right now, and maybe it's just they're kind of seeing like, on a small scale of what this could be. But maybe next year, if this kind of thing is popular and if they see people using it and wanting more, maybe they take on a paid option next year and expand it, and then do the, you're signing up and doing demos.
Well, the test flighting is very important because there's lots of technology in the world to accomplish these sorts of things, but that doesn't mean at a giant coliseum that it's going to work at all. Like there's internet issues, there's lots of people pinging, like, so it's a great way of testing it out.
Yeah. And I think that's their goal here.
I do love the future, and I think it will happen where I think E3 will be a consumer trade show where you can go and play games and get booths and autographs and stuff. There will be a digital component to it. Like it's the whole industry's moving that way. They'd be foolish not to get $35 from us. Throw us a couple demos, an exclusive interview, call it a day.
Some content. I don't know, like just anything.
We've got Phil Spencer Q&A, for an hour. We've got
that'll be a higher tier up. That'll be like $100 or something.
We've got a demo, like give us $50. Here's a wristband. Like this is just how this stuff works in this day and time. Like
I do like the idea of like a virtual exhibitor booth where I can just click on digital rooms and just see what they're doing. And like,
let
okay,
Devolver make it. Let them make it like they made that game last year.
Exactly.
They
like
made
that.
a virtual booth, literally,
so
where you walked
awesome.
around a consumer trade show.
And it played really well. Like it was really well made.
I think a lot of people say, "Oh, I'll just wait until, after that to kind of get the highlights." But I think there's a great deal of people who want to hear this as soon as it comes out. If Nintendo did something like that, of course I'm like, imagine if this would never happen. This is totally hypothetical. But if Nintendo said, "Okay, pay $10 to watch the Nintendo Direct live,"
oh yeah,
of course I'm doing that.
The internet would lose their mind, and Nintendo would take all that money. They would still get so much money.
And of course, like, it'll be on YouTube 5 minutes later, but heck, I'm doing that to see it live.
I honestly think I wouldn't do. I mean, obviously, you're right. Just carte blanche before anybody hears. I can hear the people screeching in their cars. We know that's not going to happen.
It'll never happen.
That's not going to happen on the main show. But like, what if they did? Like, hey, we've got a Bill Trinan Q&A, and we've got 3 Treehouse games that are exclusive to Treehouse, but you got to be a Nintendo Switch Online member to have it.
Like an exclusive member of some kind. Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense. That makes so much sense.
Just
like
the early, hearing it early before everyone else doing it, just a little bit,
Yep. We've got Audrey Drake. She's playing the first 10 minutes of Donkey Kong. You're going to see it before the rest of the world. You got to have a
interesting.
Ticket. I'm totally buying that ticket. And and I don't like what's the word for it? There's like this, there's the people who are like, I can't believe these companies are going to monetize trailers. And it's like,
it's the pushback on it. I think people are just thinking like everything should be free on the internet because you can instantly get access to information, and anything that's guarded behind like that access of information.
But they're monetizing popularity. That's no different than those journalists or podcasters creating Patreons where they release little bits of things. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah, people can't wrap that around their head. Yeah.
But they're like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this for trailers. And it's like, it's a little bit
the
more
people
than
who
that.
make Patreon were against this, just to let you know.
Patreon might run it. E3 powered by Patreon.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's just like everything free is like, it comes at a cost. Like if you have something premium behind a wall, that's monetizing something that's making a premium experience.
Well, the premium part of it is because it's not just the trailer. It's that you're making people feel special. You're making them feel a part of the experience. You're making them feel like they're there. They're getting something for it.
The difference is, like, with Patreon, most of the time you're getting actual content for that paying extra, like the early content extra. For trailers, sure, it's content, but like you're paying to see a commercial early.
But what if it was a demo or a Q&A? That's why I've always went to like those those
you need
panels.
actual content for this stuff.
What if it's a panel or an interview with the voice acting team or the developers or something like that?
That's better.
Like, I would totally give them $10 to listen to AJ Newman talk about making Zelda for an hour.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Like, take my money, please. Like, can I buy the wristband option? Can I get the tote bag too? There's a lot of people that would, and that's no different than like if you go to PAX, you're doing the same thing. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with doing that virtually. Like this content, podcast, video, whatever it is you call it, like it's not a tangible good. It's all digital. It can be done virtually. That's all you're doing when you're there in person is you're just filming it and then putting on the internet.
And I can buy in Dogecoin. Everything is going to be digital.
Oh my gosh! Stop it!
Oh man, it's gonna rack it up this summer. Let me tell you.
The last bit of news we have is the Dragon Quest 35 anniversary stream has been announced for May 26th, where their latest titles in the Dragon Quest, whatever they're doing, will be announced.
It's not going to be mainline, so this is going to be interesting.
A mobile game.
I hope it's not just mobile games. Let me tell you, they already have a mobile game. They have like 7.
Dragon Quest 10 coming to 3DS.
Please stop.
They've already done the first 3. How many Dragon Quest games came to Switch? The old ones? Like 1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, and 3, and then and just 11.
So
on the
5,
Switch.
6, and 7 are on the way to Switch. That'll be the next.
That would be nice. I mean, they're on 3DS and DS, so it would be cool to port them over. Other than mainline, there's a lot of sideline Dragon Quest games that are really, really good. and hopefully they'll just crack out a new one that would be a more of a worldwide release. There's a lot of Dragon Quest sideline games that are just exclusive to Japan, and it kind of sucks because they look really, really cool. So hopefully, they do it more worldwide, more global type of games. I don't know. We'll see. It was in Japan only, so this seems Japanese focused Dragon Quest, but we'll see.
Here's a Joy-Con.
That would be nice. Have you seen the Dragon Quest Vita, the Silver Vita?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, so nice. I would instantly buy Dragon
I have
Quest
zero
Joy-Cons.
expectations for this event.
Oh, me neither.
I remember they announced it. I was like, yeah, that's going to be... I feel like that's going to be a lot of nothing.
It's just fan servicey.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's good stuff. It's good stuff, Dan. Rebecca, hit us with those questions.
Yes. Andros asked us a little while ago, what would have made New Pokemon Snap a 10 out of 10 game for you? I personally, gave it a 4 out of 5 in my review. So he wanted to know what was missing or lacking that could have gotten it a perfect score.
Did the internet hate you like they hated Jeff Grubb?
No.
No. Damn.
No.
I thought about this question.
For his for Returnal.
Yeah. He gave it a 3 out of 5, and the internet just lost it.
Like crazy.
How dare he?
I gave this question some thought, and I have an interesting. At least I have something that I'd like to present to the panel for your reaction.
Okay.
I worry if an on-rails game can be a 10 out of 10.
Oh.
Just at face value, do you think that's possible?
Yes, because I think that's part of Pokemon Snap, and I think that I'm judging it as what it is, not what it could be.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
On rails?
I kind of don't like the idea of it not being on rails. I think there's too much going on. I think it would get overwhelming, and I think it would just be a different game.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I mean, ultimately, my point was actually going to be that the opposite is give us little areas, let us explore, let's have some sort of ownership over the direction of the vehicle and move around. And I agree with you. It's a completely different game. I totally agree with you. I was just thinking in general, not even Pokemon Snap, just on rails game.
Yeah.
Like, is there an on rails game that I think of my mind that I think even nears like that high prestige, gotta have it, gotta play it type of game? I don't know if any on rails game really comes to mind.
Yeah, I can only think of like if it's really narrative driven on rails, that could be really potential to be a high game just because it would be more narration than on rails. But yeah, you're right. That's a hard game to think about.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm not rating it perfectly because it is on rails.
Right.
Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. For me, some of the negatives that I talked about in the review, the pacing of this didn't feel right, of this game. Like, it was kind of all over the place. It was slow in the beginning, then like kind of really, really fast, then slow again. Like, I would rather be a consistent pacing than all over the place like that. And I think other people felt this way too, that there's a certain point in the game where it's like, okay, like, what am I supposed to do to unlock this? Like, I'm doing everything. Like, it's like too long of like just going back and taking photos. Like, I almost worried I was missing something. And then like there was one point where like too much opened up at first, and it was like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? So I think the pacing had issues, and I can't help but wish that there were similar types of secrets in the I appreciate that there are new types of secrets in this one, and I'm still finding new stuff now, but I gotta say I miss the evolution in course type secrets where like you could push Charmeleon into the lava pit and it would turn into Charizard. I miss that type of secret. I miss the type of secret where I save Jigglypuff from the coughing and he appears singing later in the stage. Kind of those like long-term type secrets. And it didn't have anything like that. And like I said, I do like the types of secrets that it had in this game, but I really miss those types of things. So I think that I thought negatively of it. Those were kind of the two big things. I know a lot of people wish there was more story. I don't at all. I didn't care for that at all. I also feel like I guess this is kind of story related, but the ending was just. Did you beat it, Donnie?
I haven't played my Switch since last week.
It.
I haven't turned it on.
I won't spoil.
Rebecca, I don't know if I'm even going to finish it. Like,
really?
As I sit here right now,
and thinking about it,
zero urge
I think
or
it's worth
compulsion
it.
for me wanting to play this game again.
Have you unlocked anything past when we talked about last time?
I unlocked, I leveled up the volcano, and then I unlocked the whatever's after it, but I didn't go to it. I
Okay,
just
do
stopped.
that a little bit more. Like I told you, the courses do get more interesting. I think that the most interesting courses are in the second half.
Kyle
That being
Puck
said, I think
says
the
it got
ending.
boring.
Oh, it got boring and way
Oh,
too
I
long.
mean,
I
I
kind of feel
wouldn't
like
say
I was
that.
bored with it when I stopped.
I disagree with that part of it. I
Mm.
don't think I was really bored. I think the pace, like he's probably at the part where the pacing is bad, and Donnie, you're at the part where the pacing's bad. I think that the ending was very cheesy, and I am like not totally satisfied with the last course. The way that I was with Rainbow Cloud and Mew. I don't
Yeah,
dislike it, but it's hard to live up to that
that was a
Rainbow
big
Cloud and
deal.
Mew.
Mm.
That's hard, big shoes to fill, I think. Of course the story is boring. You don't play Pokemon Snap for the story.
You
The
could just
courses are a
omit
lot
the
more
story out of
interesting.
this altogether.
You
Like
really could.
literally just get
Oh,
rid of
right.
all of the cutscenes
Yeah.
and just
I
let me
feel
pick the
like
next
they-
level. And I wouldn't say it definitely wouldn't be
No.
worse for it.
No, it really wouldn't be.
It
I
wouldn't.
feel like they felt an obligation to do that because, like, God forbid you release a game in 2021 with no story. Like, I think that there are people that would have been mad about that. So I think having a little stupid something is better than having nothing. But you're right. I agree with you. I
Wow,
wouldn't
I'm not the
care
only
in
one.
the slightest.
G-Man, I stopped at the volcano.
Um,
I feel a little bit better
that's
about
what
this.
I'm telling you. Like, that's the pacing. Like, if you push ahead a little bit more, it gets better. And I think that does turn off a lot of people and give that negative impression of the game that it's grindy or that it's boring or that there's not a lot of diversity in the courses. And if that pacing was better, you probably would have unlocked the interesting courses by now.
I think your point from last week that I definitely would boost is I do miss the Professor Oak interactions. Like, the interactions now after the course feel like a chore, whereas before
Yeah.
they kind of felt funny.
Yeah.
And like they were entertaining, and I wanted
He
to
was
see
kind of a
what
jerk
he
when
s-
you sucked.
Yeah, what did he think about this
Yeah.
photo? And I felt like the feedback and the judgment was far
Mm-hmm.
more clear. It was very clear as to why this photo wasn't as good as it could be, whereas this
So-
one is just kind of like, here's
Yeah.
your score.
The characters have no purpose. The other characters besides Professor Mirror, I don't like their commentary. Your rival Phil, as soon as we found out that we were having a rival, I thought, okay, like this will be cool. He's gonna every once in a while in the game, he's probably gonna challenge me to like maybe go through the
He's
course
gonna
and say like,
bump you in the car.
okay,
you know?
like okay, not like that, but like maybe okay,
That'd be
like I
amazing.
scored 2,000 points on
Rock
this
your
If
course.
it's a
Right.
race and you're both going to parallel tracks, that'd be a great
That would
level.
be better.
You'll take a picture of him. He'll like get blinded by the flash.
Oh, that'd be
Like-
so good.
Maybe he would issue a challenge like, see if you can take more pictures of water type Pokemon
Yeah.
on this course than I can. And like you would have one chance to do it before he like challenges
If you could see
again.
him like he's about to take it and like you throw an apple and you like you just
Like I thought that having a rival, like you could erase him from the game and nothing would be different. Same with the girl who I don't even remember her name. Like what better is the game with her in it? And she's not even in the story. So
Yeah.
I think that that's kind of filler. Like I wish it's not that I dislike them. I wish that they did something more with them. You know what I mean? And maybe that's
Mhm.
like that mini game thing that we were talking about last time. Maybe that's, Phil's challenging us.
It just sounds like there's not enough sustenance on the front end. There's a lot more on the back end, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
grinding to do. A lot of stuff to do, but it's a lot of the same things to do, I guess.
Mhm.
and I'm a 100%. I believe Rebecca, but
Mhm.
as I said before, like the bit that I've played so far doesn't feel special to me like the first
Yeah.
one does. Like I'm not having
Yeah.
that hook, and without that hook, I'm just riding around taking pictures of Pokemon. It's just
I
like
hear you.
I've
Yeah.
got things to play. I've got it's like I'm not even playing that
That's
much.
true.
It's like it's tough. It's hard.
And it's a shame because I think if it didn't have pacing issues like that, you wouldn't be feeling that way.
Okay, well, that's good. I am actually happy to know I'm not the only one because there's a big part of me that was like scared to say it because I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time determining is it just me? Like, am I just in one of these moods? Like, is it me because I'm not really into stuff? Like, is it me, or are these my actual feelings about the game? And that's why I was glad we got some time to like think on it and play it. But yeah, when I play it, it's just kind of like I don't think it's bad. It's really pretty game. It's fun to play. It is Pokemon Snap. It's just not like the first one. And I was also worried, like, is it just rose-colored glasses? Because the first one felt so special, still feels so special. When I play the first one, I'm like, Jack, and see what happens when I do this, and see what happens when I do that. Not having any of that with the new one. So.
Yeah, not as much of that. And again, I'm like a broken record here, but the pacing of it, like more of those secrets happen after you beat the game. I think it's a little bit silly that some interactions are.
Yeah, and I don't like hearing that at all. I remember when you said it the first time, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
You shouldn't have to beat the game to see those and to do them.
I wouldn't have liked the first one if it's like, it's really boring until you beat it the first time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked that one either.
Yeah.
But your interactions are spot on. I remember like the Electabuzz, the Charmander, the Pikachu. I feel like Lapras from the first game. Like they were Scyther, like getting Scyther out. Those are memorable. I still remember those moments because they also like the way that you interacted to get them felt in the lore of Pokemon. Like it made Pokemon like feel alive. Like, yeah, this is how it works in the TV show. Like this is Scyther's in the grass, dude's in the water, like in the fire. I got Electabuzz over here, like get him electrocuted. Like that works. I am not finding any of this right now. Like I'm just like, that's a Pokemon over there, and I'm there you go, I got it.
I will say, so I have found every Pokemon in the game, and there are some that were really hard where there were really specific interactions like that are really hard to figure out. But again, like you're not going to figure that out. Like it's just the way that it's laid out is so different. It's not bad. It's just different than what we remember.
Yeah, it's just different.
And I wish that like they had more of those moments earlier on to kind of make you believe that more, because I don't think you should have to beat the game to do it. I'm finding more there's so many branching paths that like you have to do so many specific things for. I'm still finding new branching paths. Like there's multiple in every course. If you found one and you think that's it, there's more than one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Still have 3 copies in the library system. I think I'm like number 9 or 8. We'll see if I get it by like July or August. Probably around there.
All right.
Play it for a weekend.
Well, keep pushing through it when you get it, because that pacing is. Yeah.
Make sure you get to the volcano.
Make sure it gets to the volcano. Don't worry, I play JRPGs.
We're gonna make Nintendo Shack shirts that
when
says
I was
I survived the volcano.
When I was streaming it, there were people that were genuinely surprised that there were more courses than the 4 or 5 that they showed in the trailers. So I think it's a double-edged sword, because if they show all of the courses, it's like, okay, there's no more surprises. I wish they had at least said like there's had been more explicit, I guess, that there's more than just like the beach and the plains and whatnot, because I think a lot of people didn't know that there were more, and there's definitely more. I would be all for DLC. I think there are missing spots on the map.
Nice. I mean, maybe I'll play it again and change, but when I saw this come into our chat, I was like, there couldn't be a lesser thing like announced at a direct or something.
No, I would be very hyped about DLC. I liked it a lot when I played.
I'm just ready for Pearl at this point. Like, just give me my old fashioned.
Oh, I can't wait.
Just standard regular Pokemon game.
I haven't been excited for a Pokemon game since Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I'm just so ready for this game.
Just put gold on Switch at this point. Like I just need the Pokemon that I know that I really
Let's go gold. Let's go. I mean, I'm down with that.
Metroid Hunter wants to know, when do you think we'll get a Nintendo Direct date and time announcement for E3? Will PSVG have a house party for next year at E3?
Hello, Ryan. I'm happy to hear that you wrote into the show and you still listen. So first and foremost, yay. Thanks.
Yay.
Hope you're doing well, dude. The Nintendo Direct date and time can literally be whenever. Let's see here. They could do it 3 days beforehand. I think that they will announce it the week of the 24th. 2 weeks
May
out.
24th?
Yeah, that gives them a week to announce it. And then kind of regurgitate it for the next week. Yeah.
That's a good one.
The question is, do we get Doug Bowser with like laser eyes and stuff? Like, do they actually announce
No.
something like
No.
fun and cool,
Too fun.
like they did that
No.
one time?
No. Way too.
Or
fun.
is it just
We
gonna
need
be a
to
tweet?
lower the excitement down? This is Doug Bowser we're talking
Don't
about.
show Doug Bowser in this
I
presentation,
miss the
please.
Reginator so bad, and it's not even the Reggie thing. I just thought that moment was so cool that
It's
they
gonna
did this
come
little
out
trailer.
in like a Nintendo Everything article, and you're gonna be like, "When did they say that?" Oh, they just gave them, they
tweet.
just said it. Yeah.
Yeah. Furukawa on the phone last night in an investor's call said the Nintendo Direct will be held on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And it'll be Tuesday at noon on my last day of work when
Yeah.
I am very busy and can't enjoy it.
That'd be the betting favorite. That's exactly where I'd place my bet. Tuesday at noon.
Yeah.
I could see just only 2 weeks before. I could see June 1st, right after May. Yeah.
Will it be fun at all? Will there be
No.
any fun in the
Well, it's going to be a Nintendo Direct. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Fun, sir. So we're just going to get the standard Direct blueprint
Very
PowerPoint
standard.
with the
Yes.
font and everything. Just
Yes.
They swap the date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I'm
is
sorry.
so
Bland.
boring.
Yeah.
But that's true. It's
I
going
know.
to happen that way.
Yeah, you guys are spot on.
Unfortunately, Doug Bowser, I mean,
So
he
part of
hasn't
it
been
misses
showing
when
his
Nintendo was
face.
taking it on the chin,
Yeah, I
Like
know.
the Wii U, like they tried so hard. It was so much more fun than this.
It was so more wacky.
It wasn't
I
even
feel
that
like
long ago. Remember when they did the Switch and they had like the Mario looking out behind the curtain?
yes,
That was
that,
like
that was
announcing
amazing.
the Switch.
Like do some teasing or something. Like have
The little
fun with
Muppets
it.
were so funny. Even Sony was doing this, and now no one's doing this
Well, you know
except
what?
for Xbox. Maybe
I should give them credit. They did that dumb Pokemon stream where they just had like that background with like the weird Pokemon. They came like that was amazing. That was a moment in the internet. Like I was like, this is incredible.
You're talking about the 24-hour where you're gonna see Pokemon, and it was like
It was like
every 6
a
hours something
Ponyta
popped
came out like 4 hours into the
Poor
stream.
Joe Merrick had to watch that entire thing glued to his screen.
That was the
Hearing
best.
the jingly noises.
I want them to do that. Like, turn into our Twitch channel. We'll announce when the direct is at some point in the next 72
Oh
hours.
my god! Don't say that. That's
Please
not
don't.
fun. That's not the fun I was thinking of.
Didn't Bethesda do that? Didn't they do that with like Fallout? Like they just did like a stream. Like it was just
Yeah, where it
it's
was
so
like
many cryptic things with Fallout 4. It was insane. It was like 5 months before the announcement too. It's just,
yeah.
don't drag it out, please.
Do fun stuff.
Mhm.
Be fun.
Fun stuff
Do
during
stuff.
the show. Bring back the Muppets. Like, come on,
That would be
those
cool.
were fun.
No, they're not going to do that.
I know.
And that's the
They're
thing
too
that
serious.
you know what it is. It's just Iwata. I think that was Iwata. Like post Iwata,
Yeah.
we've really not had any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Iwata like had a lot of fun with that stuff. Right?
We want fun.
Is that crazy?
It's like I feel like people criticize the Wii U. It's like too kiddie, too juvenile, and now we've like swung too far in the other direction where it's like everything's so super serious now, like with the processing,
Yeah.
and the gigs, and the like. Just can we go somewhere in the middle? Like not to
What's that
like,
supposed to
make
mean?
fun of you guys, but
yeah,
like
it's right at us.
I'm not saying
Oh,
you
okay.
guys
Shots
have.
fired.
I'm just saying
Shot is
everybody,
fired.
everybody. I wish that everybody would just swing back to the middle.
I
Hashtag
understand. I
Shots
understand.
fired.
I mean, Wii U looks like a Fisher Price tech toy. Like the,
And it's super
the
fun.
pad.
It's
I
too
know.
fun that way.
I love
we
my
need
Wii.
to go. We need to have a little bit of fun
Straight
while
in the
also
middle.
still marketing towards adults as well.
Oh, I mean, I just think like with the Wii U because of their place, that they were forced to be a little more friendly. This is not all that
Yeah, that's
different
true.
than the Nintendo over the Wii, where when they're riding high and successful, it's like they don't. And this is not uncommon for video games. Like I think a lot of people feel that way about Sony right now.
Sony is
Like
a
when you're
big
king of the mountain, you kind of don't have to, so you don't. And I don't like that, and especially don't like that for Nintendo. Because you're right, Rebecca. Nintendo is about fun. That's what they sell. Like they should be the weird zany company doing dumb commercials. That's Nintendo. Like that's what you do. Let everybody else, sit up there in their towers. But yeah, I miss the Muppets and I miss the Reginator. That Reginator thing. That
That was the best.
peak internet, man. That was so damn good. And they did
Give
the
us
Best
a
Buy
reason
demos.
to make memes. I want the memes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I want to laugh.
Yeah.
I just Iwata holding those bananas.
Yes.
You know, and you're just like,
Yeah.
what the hell's happening right? Like that endeared me so much. I was like, I love these people. Look at these people. You know what? It's exactly why I love Devolver. I love Devolver.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they're
I
moments
buy
They're
that you
anything
remember.
that their
so
stupid logo
wacky.
is on. I'm like,
Yes.
I want to give you all the money I can so you keep making these dumb commercials. You're right. It's not even about the games. I'm buying Devolver games that I don't even play.
Because you
it's
like what they stand for.
I just want to support Devolver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
When will VG have the next house party? He wants to know.
The plan is for next E3, I think.
That would be cool.
Not this E3, but next. Hopefully, I still think we have about half the team that's signed on to do it. I think the plan will stay the same. We will do it in Ohio. We will do it for a week.
I will
We'll
fly
rent
if
out
need
the
be.
place.
I need to not work in education.
Well, like you still come
Always the
during. You
last
could still
week of
come during the
school.
weekend.
I could.
Yeah.
It's kind of far.
You can drive.
It's like
You could
6-7
make
hour
it.
drive.
No, it's more than that.
That's a day trip.
To get to the end. Well, we're in Ohio.
From Pennsylvania to Ohio? No, it's not.
Well, Philadelphia
Yeah.
to Ohio is pretty long. That's the
Come on.
other side.
Yeah, to Pittsburgh, it's like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Columbus. The house is in Columbus.
Yeah, so it'd probably be
Oh,
like
that's
8.
farther. Yeah.
If they could just make it a week later, I could do whatever the heck I wanted.
But I definitely, now that we're seemingly coming out of COVID restrictions and things like that, and I think by this time next year, I think E3 will be back on.
Yeah.
Like, most things will be back to normal, and I think we can try this again. We'll do new shirts. We need to find some sort of funny like 2.0, like House Party 2.
Yeah.
It would have to
definitely.
be like 1.5.
Yeah, hopefully we don't like cause another pandemic, like global pandemic again.
Right
It's like,
before.
yeah, it's like, here we go. Here's our new show. Here's our new co-host, and we're gonna do a house party, and then it's like global.
Oh my god.
pandemic.
COVID-22. Oh no.
But yeah, that's the tentative plan for now.
All right. Soundscape wants to know, what are your rarest or forgotten games that you own for your Nintendo home consoles?
I feel like
That's a
Rebecca
good-
should go first here.
Yeah, please.
Rarest? Forgotten? Can I still say, I mean, that's not rare. I will always bring up Beetle Adventure Racing for the Nintendo 64.
Nice.
For forgotten games. It's so good. I mean, I don't rare. I recently got Chrono Trigger in its box for Super Nintendo. Again, that's not like rare. I mean, it's not forgotten. I don't know. I don't have anything forgotten.
Me
I
neither.
don't think I have anything
No,
like
and-
that.
I'm not
not
much
a-
of a collector.
I'm not a game collector. I've got lots
Yeah.
of dumb stuff, but none of it are like
Yeah.
physical copies of games.
Cause especially like when I was growing up, I really only got like Zelda, Pokemon, and like a couple other
Right.
things that were popular. You know what I
Me
mean?
too.
Like I didn't really reach out that far because it was just whatever my parents bought for me, and they didn't know.
All of my
Right.
stuff, my games, I've moved virtually. So everything is like locked up on a Wii U and its hard drive. Everything's locked on the 3DS and its hard drive. Everything's on the Switch. I do have my 64 collection, but I wouldn't call any of it rare or overly valuable.
Yeah.
Not overly valuable. I do like
Yeah.
I do have the Japanese Nintendo 64, like the ice blue. I'm very proud of that. I
Right.
think it's very, very pretty. I like having that.
I do
My
have
box
the Donkey
collector is
Kong
something.
Country on GBA, all 3 of them.
Nice.
I have Yoshi's Island, I think, on GBA as well. And then basically all the Pokemon games.
The
That's-
Pokemon
that's-
games are actually pretty valuable now.
If I
Yeah.
had a game that was valuable, I sold it and then replaced it with like a
And
digital
flipped it.
way of playing it. Yeah, like I flipped it and sold it. I have my I am 8-bit Ori. Do those count?
Sure.
Like I've got
I
those
have
physical
Super
copies.
Smash Brothers Melee still on a GameCube disc. I still have my Wii, and I could
Yeah, I
technically,
still have a Wii too.
yeah, I could technically hook that up.
I have my 360 as well.
Me too. I got
and
the
it's still
Halo
hooked up.
Reach Xbox 360, the one with the shield and everything. It was cool.
Nice.
But yeah, not much rare or forgotten games.
I don't have anything forgotten.
I have my Sega Classic Mini. I have my Super Nintendo Classic Mini. I have my PlayStation Classic Mini. All
I
of
got my
favorite
computer.
games from all of those generations. They're all hacked. They're all backed up.
I got my Retro Pocket. Like,
yeah, I'm just hoarding digital versions of old games.
Yeah. He also wants to know, what are some of your favorite game covers? Nintendo game covers, like the box art.
that's a good question.
The ones that come to mind are like Castlevania stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like a lot of the newer
Castlevanias.
stuff. Like I like Age of Calamity's cover a lot.
that's a good one.
I like anything with like the vibrant colors. Oh, I just got Metroid Prime 2 for the GameCube, and it has like a shiny holographic cover. It's very
that's
cool.
nice.
It's a good one. I mean, I've got countless amounts of steelbooks and stuff. I can't even begin to think of them all. You know, the Fire Emblem Three Houses cover is
I like that one.
pretty excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Shadow of Valentia one as well.
Yeah.
Wait. I think that
got
one.
the
No,
collector's
Fire
edition.
Emblem Echoes. I got the special edition Fire Emblem Echoes. That one
of
was dope.
course.
Yeah.
Like the best one
I feel like I want to go and like look through all my stuff now and see.
No
The
More,
No More
Heroes.
Heroes.
Oh, that was
2
cool.
with the yellow. I really like this one. I originally
legit.
wanted my Switch to look like this. I was like, can you make it yellow? And he just didn't like the idea as much as the one he had, but I like this one.
Got it.
I don't think I have anything else cool.
don't have anything cool.
Carlos says, my wife and I had a baby recently. Congratulations. I haven't played anything for a month and a half now. Can you guys recommend short games that are worth it that can be played for at least 15 minutes a day on the Switch? The eShop is too crowded and I don't have too much time to search.
I've got one.
I got one too.
I got one.
Go.
Pac-Man 99. Just play
That's
a
a
few
good one.
rounds. Just
That
play
is
a few
good.
rounds.
That's a good one. Even think of that.
That is a good one. I was going to say a short hike. It's like $5 and you can play it in like, I mean, if you're playing for 15 minutes a day, that's, I think, good chunks to play it and you'll beat it in like 2 or 3, a couple days, like a week or so if you're playing it in 15 minutes a day. It's very cute. It's very charming, very wholesome, very like stress-free, which is probably what you need right now.
I like it.
Oh,
The one I was going to offer is Sayonara Wild Hearts, which I
Interesting.
loved. And it's a music rhythm game, and it's level based, so you can play one level at a time. Put the headphones on and escape, man. The game is beautiful to stare at. It has some amazing animation. It's got killer music, and it's really fun to play. It's real short. I think you beat the whole game in like an hour. So
Nice.
yeah, I really like that one.
I
Pretty
think
good
also
suggestions.
Grindstone, that's level based and it's a cool little puzzle game if you like puzzles. And you can just sit down on the couch watching television and just be like just zipping around in that game. Like it's really chill.
Calculator for Nintendo Switch.
Of course.
Came out.
That's my favorite,
Can't believe that
$10
thing
value.
happened. What a ridiculous.
People will buy
People
it.
are talking about it, and people will buy it just because people
I know
are
they
talking
will.
about it.
Yeah.
They're gonna review it and they're gonna
Genius.
say it's a 10 out of 10, man. It's a calculator.
Does everything as advertised?
But it is as good as other calculators. Can I graph things? Can we do
think
parabolas and things
can.
on the
You
calculator?
can't graph on this one,
Maybe, it looked like it had a lot of options.
Is
but you
it
can program.
Is it Texas Instruments worthy?
Yeah, you can program Pac-Man in there probably.
I do love the idea of a kid bringing it to school. And
Yeah.
teacher's like, what are you doing? It's like, I got it. It's just a calculator. You told me to get it. I got it.
Did you read the Iwata book? Like
Not yet.
He talked about that in the beginning.
I'm like halfway through it.
It's super fun.
He
super
talked
funny.
about what?
He talked about he saved up money to get a calculator
Yeah.
in high school, and then
Oh, I think I
he
did. I
programmed
remember
his
that.
own games
Yeah,
in
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty common and popular like in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was like the first electrical instrument that a lot of people got their hands on.
Yeah.
I remember in school, all my teachers said, you have to know this math in your head because you won't have a calculator in your pocket every time you go to the store.
Joke's on you,
lie.
Teach.
What a lie. Ugh. Where are we? Kyle says 4 forgotten Nintendo franchises. You get to keep one franchise and the rest go away forever. He posts Star Fox, F-Zero, Earthbound, and WarioWare. But I will say, Kyle, what is your definition of forgotten? Because I think 2 of those are not forgotten. Star Fox and WarioWare, we got new titles in just like WarioWare got a new title 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Is that
WarioWare
forgotten?
is very, very current.
Star Fox got a game
Star
on
Fox.
the 3DS.
I can
I
understand.
wouldn't call that forgotten. I think it's just they haven't made a new one yet.
It's
They
a
made
little
the new
dormant.
one on Wii U, and it was
It's
So
garbage.
to
Train
me,
wreck.
like forgotten franchise or dead franchise is something that didn't get a game in a whole like console generation.
Okay.
So
I think Kyle
only
just likes to ask questions that he thinks can tear us apart.
Yeah.
I think really F-Zero is the only one that really counts in this.
Yeah, by your definition, I would agree. Yeah.
But by
like
these
how the
choices,
WarioWare
what I'm
game.
gonna say is you can get rid of all these franchises. It's okay.
Oh, Garrett with the heel turn.
Oh
Garrett's
my
like, you know what?
god!
I don't
Opposite
need
turn right
Oh,
here.
any of this trash.
Punching,
Get it all.
kicking.
Just get away.
Oh
Wow.
my god! Well,
We had
that's-
enough of them.
I love it, Garrett.
I
We had
hate
enough
it.
of them.
Hate it.
I
I,
am keeping Star Fox. The rest can go.
Yeah, me too. I'll keep Starbucks.
I don't care about Star Fox or F-Zero. I really like both Earthbound and WarioWare, so I am gonna keep both.
I love WarioWare.
Sounds good. You
But every
get to keep
time we get a
mine.
WarioWare, I just wish they would like do Rhythm Heaven Fever more.
Yeah.
Like,
I've
I
never
wish
played
that was
Rhythm
as
Heaven.
excited as popular as WarioWare.
No, I like WarioWare, and I love Earthbound. So
We
Garrett,
know.
You get rid of all of them. I'll take your extra pick.
I just
I'm just
love it.
saying.
Garrett's like
Just
all of
saying.
it, just out, just
I'll take
Just-
yours.
next.
Just go away.
Just go away.
Just give me another Fire Emblem game. I'm good.
I have felt that way about F-Zero for a very, very long time. I am tired of that
Of hearing it.
group of people on the internet who are like, bring back F-Zero. It's guys, please
Guys,
stop.
we
Please
just
stop.
got Captain Falcon in Super Smash Brothers. That's all we needed.
Just
the
put
Falcon Punch.
in Mario Kart and call
I was
it
gonna
a
say
freaking
Mario
day.
Kart.
Just
Call it a day.
Like, in all seriousness, and I mean this genuinely, why would anybody want Nintendo to waste their resources and time making an F-Zero game when they can be used on a different title? Of
Isn't
more
that why
popular
like
IP?
Redout exists?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Well,
and that's what I've always said. Like, if you want to do that, let them make it. Just be like, you could make one for us. Let's
mhm.
do that. Like, I don't want Nintendo's team, like, at the cost of them making a Yoshi game or a Donkey Kong game or any other game, a Kirby game, at any of the other games that they could potentially make, it would be a mistake to use that team to make an F-Zero game. It's like,
That's true.
I don't play F-Zero. I don't know if it
come on,
I
people.
don't care. Is this your Jack?
This is my Jack.
I like this
Oh.
question a
I
lot.
do like. He throws out really
He
great
has
questions,
really
by the
good
way.
questions. Yeah.
That makes me think,
This
actually.
is my favorite question here, to be honest. What are you more excited for, Pokemon going open world or Splatoon 3? If you had asked me this question 10 years ago, like obviously Splatoon didn't exist 10 years ago, but like Pokemon was like my entire life.
Yeah.
I today am way more excited about Splatoon 3.
Interesting.
And I know I'm probably the only one here that
I'm on Team
is.
Rebecca.
Really?
Absolutely. And
Wow, I
it's
didn't
not the
expect you to say
idea
that.
of Pokemon going open world. It's just that their pitch for their Pokemon open world game just doesn't look super great.
It's
so
very
if
hesitant right
If I'm
now.
being honest with myself,
We don't know
I'm-
much.
I'm way more excited for Splatoon 3. Like, I know exactly what Splatoon 3 is. I'm the guy that stayed up till 2 a.m. to play Splatoon 2 when it released digitally on the storefront. Like, yeah, I'm all in on Splatoon 3 day one. I will
Can
be
you
there.
imagine,
bells
like,
on.
we're in a world where a relatively new IP is generating like more success than a Pokemon game? I
Is
mean,
it generating more
generating more excitement.
I think
I'm not
it,
surprised. It's
it's
a
capturing
sh-
some people for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Splatoon's a shooter. Like, I don't really know this Pokemon game. Like, what they showed me from this Pokemon game, Like the battles were like, were they
Mhm.
auto? Like it was auto battle. Like you just like throw like.
It was like you kind of get into it, but
Yeah.
then
They didn't
But
really
you're
then
not
it's a
like
battle
actioning.
itself.
You're not combating. You're not
You
doing it, right?
are.
You
There
are.
is
Are you?
fighting. Yeah, you're still
Okay.
yeah. But
Well,
they
It's
that
just
makes
haven't
me a
but
little
shown
it's
more
much
not
of it.
like you black out the screen and go into it. It's more like, okay, now you're
Seamless.
it's
Yeah,
it's more
seamless.
seamless, yeah.
I just feel like I know. I have a much better idea of what Splatoon 3 is.
Like think of it more as like Xenoblade Chronicles combat where you kind of like engage with an enemy like that.
Oh.
But not auto attack. I would still think it's like action.
So you have
I
like
don't know.
cooldowns and things like that.
I would think so.
So you're like the trainer. You're basically like just throwing out attacks. You're just like, hey, flamethrower.
We'll see. We don't know much
We
about
don't
this
know.
game.
That's the thing. I feel like they showed a little thing, and it's just we're kind of speculating what those things on the screen
Yep.
mean. if they
Also,
told
what they
us.
showed didn't look like super great.
Yeah.
Like and I think it's really early, and I don't think we're getting that game next year. I didn't think it when they showed it. I don't think it now.
Which is funny because they said early
I know.
2021,
Yep.
22.
And
I
if that
doubt
happens,
that.
I'm very worried.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if that actually comes to fruition, I'm very worried about that game. But no,
Anyway,
I don't
I-
expect it to be there.
We'll consume all of Splatoon content. I think this one looks like it's doing all the right things to move
Yep.
forward. I'm very excited to see what all the new modes are going to be
Yep.
for it.
Mhm.
I'm very excited that they're doing like some kind of progressive things with
My head is in the clouds as to
the
what Splatoon 3
characters.
could be.
Mhm.
Give me
Yeah.
something weird. I want something very weird out of Splatoon
I hope it's not the
3.
same. That
Give
would
me more
bum me out.
modes. Like again, with the modes,
More
it's
modes. And I
Yeah.
want the main story to be as dark as Octo Expansion was. I think that
That'd be
that is
legit.
what should have been the main story of Splatoon 2, and I think they kind of realized that. So I think they're going to get all sorts of bizarre with 3. I think they at this point like they know what Splatoon is, and they know that it's wildly successful, and they know they can lean into this, and it's in the big leagues now. Like they're going to
Mhm.
dedicate and give this series what it
I want
deserves.
24/7 salmon run, damn it.
like yes, please.
And I honestly do think, I hope I'm not wrong with this, but I still believe that they were not confident about it with Splatoon 2, which is why they didn't do that. They didn't know how many players there would be, how long it would last. I think they are way confident about it now.
We get our Splatfests again. We get 24/7 salmon run. We get rid of those long ass intros. We get to pick our own maps. We get to float our own maps. Like, yeah, I'm very excited for Splatoon 3. If they make all the quality of life stuff that I want, give me a fun arcade mode. You know, give me something else I can do besides Team Deathmatch or the capture the flag thing, whatever they've got. You know,
Mhm.
throw
I'm
something
so
else in there.
excited. I can't
Do-
believe that this is like actually real.
To be honest, it was a hard decision for me. You guys make a great case for Splatoon 3. I will have a great time with Splatoon 3 with my now fiance. It's gonna be fantastic.
She's into it.
She's very into it.
Dude, a big team battle Splatoon game would be freaking dope.
Give
I
it
wanna be
like
able to-
20,
so-
30 players.
If there's like a
I'm sorry.
30v30 Splatoon
Yeah.
team, like
Oh.
last
Oh my God.
team standing, that would be super fun.
You need the Switch Pro for that.
God, it'd be so much fun though.
Garrett, I know you're about to make a point, but you just made me think of something. Like when
Yeah.
we played together, me and your fiance, she like we weren't always on the same team, which was very frustrating. I wish that I hope that Splatoon 3 gives us better teaming up.
Yes.
We should
Me
be
too.
able to say
Fix that
the
stuff.
3 of us want to be
It's
on
gotta
the
be
same
all the
team.
same team, yeah.
Bring a random in with us, for a 4th person, and we should be able to be a team when we want to be a team.
I want to
Yeah.
keep my Splatfest shirts. I want better gear.
Yeah.
That's true.
What were you gonna say, Garrett?
Well, no, I'll have a super fun time with Splatoon 3. I'm all there with you. I still find so much potential in this open world Pokemon. And I just think of just the lore that they can bring out. Like combat, I'm not really caring about as much. Same thing with Skyrim. Like I didn't care about the combat. I like just the different things I can do and the lore that I can actually open up.
Well, I
It
hope
is
that world has that. That's the other thing
Me
we
too.
didn't see. Yeah.
it is setting a good premise, and like I think they have a story that they're wrapping up in their head. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
just think
I'm
we
very
don't
excited
know
for
enough.
it. Yeah.
I think once we know more, it'll be easier to get excited about
Give me
it.
an update a year later and say that it's going to be for 2023.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
That's what I want, actually.
It's Game Freak, right? They're not outsourcing this as their internal stuff. I think that also gives me a little
Yes.
hesitation. Like I'm a little skeptical that they're up to they're up to task for this. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little worried. Like, is this bigger than they can chew?
That's true.
Yeah.
They got to step off from what they're doing, though, I think. And I'm glad that they're doing this.
That's what they're trying to do. I hope they nail it. I do hope they nail it. But I'm a little skeptical on them. Like, their track record outside of what we know them for is not super great.
Just keep that Pokemon lore and just hope for the best.
Maybe they'll get like some support help, because it's not just
they definitely need it.
It's not just as a bigger game. You're talking about once you flip that camera and you go like that, mechanics, traversal, movement, like it's a whole different side of game.
They're gonna learn so much new things. Yeah. They need to collaborate with someone. I'm sure they'll have a support team somewhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bring like Monolith Soft or someone into it.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
I feel like Monolith Soft has like 1,500 employees. It's like every other week.
They're a massive army of
every other week
employees,
we get a report that they're working on a game, helping someone work on a game, making their own game, or hiring a new team for a game. It's like it's got to be all misinformation. Like they're just keeping everybody off the scent. Like okay. I think that'll do it for us this week.
I think so.
Sounds good.
So thank you, Jack, for answering or asking us our last question of this week. And with that, everybody, thanks for coming and hanging out with us, Shaq. Hope you enjoyed the rumor talk. Let us know what you think. As we're on the march towards E3. Like it's here. We're in May. We're almost there. It's a couple weeks.
In a month.
New
1
games.
month.
It's gonna go by quick.
I gotta ask my advisor to take off work.
We're gonna see some Zelda stuff, and then we get to play Mario Golf. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to look forward to. But until next week, we'll catch you then. Good night, Kooplings.
Bye-bye.